Hydrogen produced during light reaction combines with CO2 to form glucose. That is CO2 reduced to form glucose. Clear? Clear or not? If clear, please comment. Now another cycle is C4 cycle, which is also known as Hatch-Slack cycle, because in this cycle the first stable product is a 4-carbon compound, that is oxaloacetic acid, and this cycle is found in many other tropical and subtropical plants such as monocot, sorghum, wheat, oat, pearl, millet, etc. Okay, so you just remember another cycle also operates in various plants such as maize, which is known as C4 cycle. Why it is called C4 cycle? Because in this the first stable product is 4-carbon compound oxaloacetic acid. You just remember, this is not important for your exam. Now we are going to discuss the heterotrophic plants. This is important. Heterotrophic plants. So almost all plants are autotrophic, means they synthesize their own food, but some plants are heterotrophic in nature. Okay, so those plants which obtain their food from other organisms like animals, like human beings, like other organisms, are known as heterotrophic plants. So those plants which obtained their food from other organisms are called heterotrophic plants, and you all know that heterotrophic plants are of two types. Tell me names. The first one is parasitic plants. Parasitic plants. And second one is insectivorous plants. Insectivorous plants, or you can say carnivorous plants. Carnivorous plants. Clear? So those plants which obtain their food from other organisms are known as heterotrophic plants, and heterotrophic plants are of two types. Number one, parasitic plants and insectivorous plants. Tell me one example of parasitic plant. This is very important question, and this question has been asked in various competitive examination. Which of the following is a parasitic plant? Very famous plant, Kaskuta. In Hindi it is called Amarbel. Amarbel. So Kaskuta is a parasitic plant. But next question is, which type of parasite? Kaskuta is a parasitic plant. It is a stem parasite or root parasite? Tell me. Kaskuta is a stem parasite or root parasite? Yes, very good. In Telugu, I don't know, Raja. In Hindi, it is called Amarbel, but in Telugu, I don't know Telugu name of Kaskuta. Yes, so it is a stem parasite, not root parasite. But next question, Kaskuta is a stem parasite. Total stem parasite or partial stem parasite? Tell me. It is total stem parasite or partial stem parasite? This is another question. So level of question is very good. Yes, it is a total stem parasite. Total stem parasite. Let me explain what is the meaning of total stem parasite. Okay, suppose this is a plant and these are the roots of the plant. This is the stem. So Kaskuta insert their roots in the stem of another plant and absorb their prepared food. So this plant, that is Kaskuta, is totally dependent on stem of another plant. They do not perform photosynthesis. So they are totally dependent on, they obtain their food from stem of another plant. So it is called total stem parasite. Okay. Now we have next parasitic plant, Santalum. Santalum, that is sandal, or in Hindi it is called Chandan. Chandan. Tell me, Santalum is also a parasitic plant. It is a stem parasite or root parasite? A stem parasite or root parasite? Santalum, which is also known as sandal or Chandan, it is a stem parasite or root parasite? It is a root parasite. Which type? Total or partial? It is a partial root parasite. Okay, absolutely right. It is a partial root parasite. What is the meaning of a partial root parasite? So Santalum inserts their roots into the roots of another plant and absorb their water and minerals. They perform photosynthesis, their own photosynthesis. They also absorb water, but some waters are stolen in another plants, from another plants. Okay, so they are partially dependent on roots of another plants. So Santalum is known as partial root parasite. Is it clear or not? Half dependent. Yes, absolute right. Now we have insectivorous plants. Second type of plant is heterotrophic plants are, second type of insectivorous plants, heterotrophic plants are insectivorous plants, insectivorous plants. And these plants are also known as carnivorous plants. Tell me some examples of insectivorous plants. The very famous example, these plants trap insect. Okay. Example is Nepenthes, which is commonly called pitcher plant. So Nepenthes is also known as, or commonly known as, pitcher plant. In Hindi it is called Ghat Parni. Next plant, Drosera, can eat insects, which is commonly called sundew. Okay. Dionia, which is also known as Venus fly trap, can also eat insects. Utricularia, commonly called bladderwort. So these all plants can eat or can trap insects. Now the question is, insectivorous plants grow in which type of soil? Why they eat insect? Yes, Dionia, Utricularia, sundew, yes. So in option, maybe Nepenthes, maybe pitcher plant, Drosera, sundew, okay? So very important, please remember. So insectivorous plants grow in such a soil which lacks nitrogen, So insectivorous plants grow in nitrogen deficient soil. This is very important, nitrogen deficient soil. So to overcome the deficiency of nitrogen, they can eat insects. Okay. So nitrogen deficient soil, insectivorous plants grow in nitrogen deficient soil. Please remember. Clear or not? Yes, nitrogen deficient soil. Let me explain with the help of a diagram. Suppose this is a Nepenthes. These are the leaves of Nepenthes. But some leaves of Nepenthes or pitcher plant modify to form a pitcher-like structure. So this is a pitcher. Okay. So if soil does not contain nitrogen, these plants obtain nitrogen from insects. So suppose if the question is which part of pitcher plant modify to form pitcher-like structure? Which part of pitcher plant modify to form pitcher-like structure? Root, stem, leaves. Your answer should be leaves of pitcher plant. Leaves of pitcher plant. This is also very important. Leaves of pitcher plant modify to form pitcher-like structure. This question has been asked in UPSC pre-exam. Pitcher-like structure. Very important for your exam. Yes, leaves modify to form pitcher-like structure to trap insects. Okay. So this is all about your plant nutrition. Very short chapter, very small chapter, but very important. If you have still any doubt, you can ask. Satya, which point? So leaves of pitcher plant modify to form pitcher-like structure which trap insects. Okay, so the question is, if the question is which part of pitcher plant modify to form pitcher-like structure, leaves, stem, roots, your answer should be leaves. Okay. Okay, so the important point is the process of photosynthesis takes place in chloroplast. That's why chloroplasts are known as kitchen of the cell. Chloroplast has a green pigment which is known as chlorophyll. And what is the function of chlorophyll? Chlorophyll absorbs light energy and converted it into chemical energy. And during the process of photosynthesis, light energy is converted by chemical energy. Next thing, chlorophyll contains a metal which is known as magnesium. Next point, oxygen released during photosynthesis comes from water. Okay. Next, the wavelength of light absorbed during photosynthesis is 400 to 700 nanometer. Okay. And photosynthesis takes place in two major steps: light reaction, which is also known as Hill reaction, in which splitting of light takes place, and water splits to form hydrogen and oxygen. Oxygen is released into the atmosphere, and hydrogen produced during Hill reaction combines with CO2 to form glucose. This is called dark reaction. Dark reaction is also called Calvin cycle or C3 cycle because the first stable product of C3 cycle is a 3-carbon compound, phosphoglyceric acid. Okay. Some plants are also heterotrophic in nature, and heterotrophic plants are of two types: parasitic plants and insectivorous plants. Okay guys, see you in the next session. Till then, prep smart.